Hello everyone, hope you're having a good day. Today I'm going to show you how I made these little chewy rainbow sweets, which are designed to look like the Prismatic Shard from Stardew Valley. So my method for making these chewy sweets is a little bit different from what I've seen online. So hopefully it's easier for people to do at home. So I'm using jelly for this instead of sugar and water, which I think just makes things a whole lot easier, and you don't need food colouring, you can just use the colour that's in the jelly. So here I've got some green jelly that I just got from the shop, and I'm only going to use a little bit at a time, about 2 cubes here. So the ratio I use is 2 cubes of jelly, which is 22.5 grams, and then use 22.5 grams of water and 0.5 grams of agar. So here's me just measuring out the water. This is boiling water. I'm trying to get it to roughly 22 grams. Thereabouts is fine. The order in which you do this I think is quite important because you need the agar to fully dissolve. So we're going to measure out the water first, and I've got this agar powder here, and I worked out that half a gram is about a quarter of a teaspoon. So that's what I'm measuring out here, making sure it's level. So I'm going to add a quarter of a teaspoon of agar to the water, and I'm not going to mix it, I'm just going to swirl it. So this agar has a tendency to stick to the side of the container, and we don't want that to happen. We want it to dissolve fully into the water. So I'm going to take it here, we're not going to use a stove or anything, we're just going to shove it straight in the microwave on full power for 10 seconds. So this is what it looks like when it's come out of the microwave, and we're just going to straight away add in our jelly cubes. So I've cut it down into smaller pieces here just so it dissolves a bit faster. But again, we're going to take this, and we're going to chuck it straight in the microwave again for another 10 seconds on full power. So I tried making this type of chewy sweet using some of the other recipes I've seen, and it gets really sticky at this point. And what I like about this method is the liquid's still quite runny, so I just mix it together here and it's ready to go. I think this method is a lot cleaner than some of the other ones I've seen out there, which is important if you want to do this with children. Just the simpler the better, I think. So I tried dyeing it here, but it didn't really work. I'm trying to replicate the Prismatic Shard from Stardew Valley. So the colours are supposed to go blue, green, yellow, red, and then kind of a purpley pink. But I've got no blue, so we're going to do purple first. So here I've got a silicone mould here, but you can really use anything. The jelly kind of comes off quite easily when it's properly set, so anything will do. The silicone here is just nice to have. So I'm using about 1.5 tablespoons in here, but obviously it depends on what container you use to how much liquid you're going to add in. And it takes a while to set, so you've got a decent amount of time to do this. When I made it using the traditional method, it felt like I was always on the clock, kind of pressured, because it was getting quite sticky, but this you can just take your time with it. And now that first layer's in, we're just going to get started on the rest. So this will set up in time for us to do the next layer, so we don't need to put it in the fridge or anything like that. And for the Prismatic Shard I did green first, or green second. I did green second, then this orangey yellow, a red, and then this pink, which looks quite dark, but it's actually a lot lighter when it's set. And with that finished, I layered them all up and then put it in the fridge to set for about an hour. And this is what they look like when they came out of the mould. So I'll give you a close-up view here. You can see the colours are clearly defined, separated out. See nice clear boundaries between all of them. It looks quite good. The one on the left, I added it a bit too soon, so you see it's kind of a swirly effect on the top where the green has sunk into the purple. I had to go at cutting out some Prismatic Shard shapes, and this I did that on the smaller block, and this is the middle one, which I thought was the most perfect. So I wanted to get my method right before I cut into this. So just take a thin slice, and then the Prismatic Shard has a yellow band going straight up the middle. So I'm going to turn it so the yellow band's vertical and then just chop off all the corners. This is roughly the shape of what it is in game. It's more rounded, but it's kind of hard to do with this. So I just went for straight edges, but you can also snap this into different shapes. There's a lot of videos online, people making like crystal shapes, things like that. There's a lot of room for creativity here. So you can just eat these as they are. I've shown a picture here of them stacked up, all of my Prismatic Shards. But the nice thing with this is you can leave it at room temperature for about 4 or 5 days, and it will set up. It will go kind of hard and chewy, a bit like a wine gum. If you've ever had wine gums from the UK, you kind of know what texture I'm talking about. And this is how I dried mine out, just on some greaseproof paper. Just thought I'd quickly show you how I did it. And one extra thing I want to add is that by using jelly for this recipe, we don't need to worry about any kind of flavouring. So with this kind of chewy sweet, normally it's just sugar and water, and to get these fruity flavours it's quite difficult. You have to get expensive extracts and stuff, so by using jelly it kind of makes the whole process a lot simpler. So again, I just want to highlight the need for the agar. So on the left here I've got some jelly that's set with that 0.5 grams of agar, and on the right is just the standard jelly. So it's the same amount of jelly and water, just one's got agar and one hasn't. So it's a complete wrong texture, and only the one on the left is going to set up and crystallise like we want to. So the agar is very important. This is what the sweets look like after about 4 days drying. You can see they've gotten a lot harder. They're not exactly how I wanted, so I was kind of aiming for, if you've ever seen Kohakutou, it's like this Japanese sweet. I was hoping they'd kind of go really crystalline and crunchy. But it's hard, and it's a lot more chewier, which is a texture I quite like actually. Something unique that I've not really had before. Like a hard wine gum, if that kind of makes sense. I think it's really nice. So yeah, you can either have them before where they're nice and soft as I showed you previously, or leave them for 3 or 4 days like this and they go hard and a bit chewier. So I'm going to just play some footage here of me playing with the sweets so you can hear how hard they are and the kind of texture that they've got. In terms of looks, I think I prefer these sweets here when they're softer, the colour's a bit brighter and texture's a bit smoother, and both taste the same, but it's nice that you can have the choice of which texture you prefer. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video and that you think these look like the Prismatic Shard from Stardew Valley. I didn't have any blue, which was a bit unfortunate, otherwise they'd look a lot more identical, but I think I did a good enough job. I also think these sweets would be really cool for Halloween now that's coming up soon. They're really easy to make, be quite a unique thing to give to trick-or-treaters if you're doing that with COVID and stuff. It's a bit harder this year. And also just nice to have around the house, a nice gift for people. If they like Stardew Valley, that'd be a cool Christmas present. Either way, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. This one was super fun to make. I'm going to be doing it again in the future. Thank you very much for watching.